Okay, one thing that I hear all the time from customers on this journey is that it often starts with dash cams. But over time, it evolves into how the business manages its risks. Our next guest can tell us what happens when you take that ambition and apply it to a global oil field operation, where it is among the most challenging environments on Earth. Please help me welcome to the stage Jason Ramsey from Halliburton and our very own Kate Woelffer, SVP of Sales at Motive.
All right, we're bringing it home, I think.
Always,
right?
always.
Always. Hi, everyone. I'm Kate Woelffer. I'm SVP of Enterprise Sales here at Motive. I have the pleasure of working with some of our largest, most complex customers like Halliburton. So maybe to start, Jason, tell us a little bit about your operations, the size and scale, and why safety is so important to you.
So safety in the oil field is one of our most cherished properties that we have to do. Keeping our employees safe, keeping them coming home on a regular basis is paramount for what we do. Whether we're utilizing administrative controls or we're utilizing engineering controls, where Motive definitely steps in to give us that visibility, to give us that scale to be able to see what are our drivers doing, what behaviors are they exhibiting, how can we help them be better drivers out there in the field to keep not just themselves safe, to keep the liability exposure for the company, but also for the members of the public. We're a partnership all the way around, and in order to do that, it takes everybody together working as a team to actually make that happen. And Motive so far has been able to kick it, give us what we need to be able to move that needle to the next level and keep safety at the top priority for what we do.
Now, you obviously operate at a massive scale, 8,000 plus vehicles. You were a fleet management customer for quite some time before Halliburton became a safety customer. Expanding into dash cams was at mid last year. So tell us a little bit about what that's unlocked for your operations from a safety perspective.
So one of the big things, having the cameras both forward facing and also facing into the cab, gives you insights that you didn't know. It's what you don't know is what you don't know, and those things definitely what keep you up at night. Now that being able to see that in real time, to affect those behaviors of those drivers, from the direct coaching of having the cameras and everything else, actually talking to the customer or talking to the employee, trying to help them understand what those behaviors are and how to effectively eliminate them as much as possible. And a lot of times as drivers, we always don't know what we're doing. I had the pleasure of actually driving some of our company vehicles quite a bit. Having that camera, it actually showed me myself, behaviors that we exhibit on a daily basis that we don't know that we're actually doing. Whether it's stopping at a stop sign and making sure that you're coming to a complete stop, giving yourself enough time to actually look both ways, to see what those kind of issues that might happen. Cars coming around corners and everything else. You don't have that visibility that you would normally have. So it's definitely challenged both myself and all of our team to become better drivers and keep our drivers safe, keep them coming home every day.
Yeah, it certainly is eye-opening. I have a camera in my vehicle as well, and there are things you just don't realize you do until you get in there. So, we've continued to evolve our partnership, and now you've gone deeper into the workforce management suite, added that to your solution as well. What gaps were you trying to solve with that that kind of fleet management and safety alone couldn't solve?
So one of the challenges, especially of virtually every oil field company, we have multiple systems, multiple different software platforms, and in order to integrate all of those platforms into one, especially from a compliance standpoint, whether it's your governmental agencies, your local jurisdictional areas, DOT, FMCSA, things of those natures that you need your driver qualification files, MVRs, driver information to be able to be stored and be able to be accessed in a real-time fashion. A lot of times we were challenged based off of the fragmentation of the systems. How do we get this from there, and you're kind of trying to pull data sets from multiple spreadsheets, running lots and lots of VLOOKUPs, trying to find what you need. Now, workforce management has actually given us that ability to see that information in real time, and it's really reduced our administrative burden and those administrative costs. One of the big game changers I know that we have is the automation systems that's going to be available that was announced here this week. that is the game changer. That's just the icing on the cake from what we've already done to have that plain language control, to be able to modernize and automate a lot of more of what we have actually already started with the administrative challenges and things of that nature that's been there. So we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. What about coaching? You mentioned the automation's going to be a game changer. I'm sure it's kind of got your ideas flowing, seeing some of the new technology. What types of conversations do you think you're going to be able to have with your coaches? How is it going to change your ability to coach at scale?
So coaching at scale, having the coaching score is going to be a phenomenal addition to our to the software platform, to be able to see how effective are our coaches out there in the field, how are they effective to reduce those repeat behaviors, things of that nature that may be coming. But being able to bring those down I think is going to be very beneficial. Plus it gives the coaches a visibility of, are they being effective? What do they need to focus on more to narrow down those behaviors and kind of change how they operate?
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the big impactful portion of it, for sure.
We just heard Kevin talk about the international aspects of the business. Halliburton is an international company as well. I know we have some opportunities there. What do you see as kind of the big opportunities from an international perspective, and what have you learned already there?
So it kind of goes back to the fragmentation. We have multiple vendors servicing a lot of our areas. Being able to roll that into a singular vendor, to be able to integrate all of our software platforms all together and be able to show that data in real time, everything from the C-suite all the way down to the operational side. That just gives that information so they can be more beneficial to the customer. We can better sell our products and services and actually be more cognizant of what our safety outlook is and what that perception may be. Those challenges are very real. I mean, it's sometimes with oil and gas, I mean, it's a live or die type situation. I mean, you're either a company that's going to stay in business for a long period of time, or you're going to stagnate and not necessarily move forward. And it's all that perception of how safe your operations are and that exposure. And I think that is going to challenge us to be better and actually keep raising that bar all the way across the board. And we're really excited about all the opportunities and all the new enhancements that are coming out. And I think with the AI Camera Plus, I mean, that's just the next step, phenomenal thing. It'll give us, awareness that we haven't had before. Yeah. One of the challenges that we have with that is, like deer strikes, animal strikes, things of that nature. To be able to get that advance warning ahead of time and get that communication to the driver, I think it's phenomenal. It's gonna be the game changer in the market.
You along those lines, you operate in some pretty extreme climates, pretty extreme situations. I think I saw a picture of us doing the installs in like northern Canada, everyone bundled up. Tell us a little bit about the uniqueness of your international operations and why it's challenging in your environment, different from folks who may be in more of a city environment.
So that definitely poses significant challenges, especially for different territories, different operational areas, especially if there's weather-related issues, especially if you're up in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, or you're in Saskatchewan. I know I didn't say that. I know I didn't say that correctly in Canada. If you're up in British Columbia or you're in those areas, it is a challenging environment. The biggest challenge is getting the vehicles where they need to be able to have those installations and things done. But at the end of the day, once it's done, I mean, you are set, and then you're ready to be able to see that information that you can do, help coach your drivers, help build that team, build that safety culture, and just kind of bring it home. I mean, that's the whole reason why we have safety controls and everything else in place, is keep our drivers home so they can come back to work.
Yeah, I mean, I love working with you guys, but I don't know if I'm going to volunteer to go to Saskatchewan to replace a camera.
It may not be the best place.
Yeah, a little bit. So a lot of providers, sell hardware. I know there's a lot of options for you out in the market. We've talked a lot about the relationship, and you and I talk all the time. When you think about kind of our partnership, how do you think about the relationship? Why is that important when choosing a provider?
So one of the things that really drove us to Motive was the openness to be expanding, to be able to integrate with our existing systems, to develop a software platform that meets our needs directly. A lot of companies, they offer different things that are more targeted to a mass market. That one size fits all doesn't always fit every organization or every industry. We all have different challenges, we all have different responsibilities, we all have different needs. But having a partner that actually will build upon our needs directly is a game changer. You don't just have the one A, B, or C to choose from. Now we got D, E, and F, and everything else that we want to build upon to make it and make that product and service meet what we need in the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made us drive to choosing Motive as our supplier, because you guys had that openness to be able to do and overcome those challenges that we have.
Yeah. You obviously have evolved your program significantly over time. We have some people in this room who are just kind of starting their safety fleet management journeys. What advice do you have for someone who's running kind of a large, complex fleet and maybe is a bit reactive today? What have you learned from your experience?
The biggest thing is communication. Communication is key, not just for the drivers, not just for your teams, but having a communication circle between maintenance, between your driver team, between your administrators, between your operations folks. Everybody needs to be a part of the program. Once you get that buy-in all the way around the circle, everything becomes so much easier. Granted, with as many vehicles and with our operation, we're still not there. It's always a work in progress, and it's always a challenge to keep moving the needle. But if you keep always pressing, hitting that pinnacle it's there.
Yeah.
And we're going to get there. And with the partnership with Motive, I think with that transition, I think we're going to be well positioned to be able to make it there.
Yeah, you've evolved your program significantly. We talked about a couple of those things, adding the dash cams, workforce management. What's next? Like, what are your next big priorities for Halliburton and your safety and fleet management programs?
Just kind of bringing it all together. That's probably the biggest challenge, is how does every piece fit together, but also having the right people in the right places to be able to manage it after it's actually completed. With the automations, with the analytics, with a lot of the other AI operations that Motive is bringing to the table, it's going to relieve some of the burden that our administrators have to be able to focus more core on our safety profiles, to just make sure that everybody is communicated in the how, what, where, and why that we do the things that we do.
Yeah.
In the oil field, one of the things that we always have to say is, if you don't follow the procedure, you don't follow the work method, you don't follow those guidelines, people can die. And it's a very dangerous place that we do. Driving is the highest point of our safety challenges, but getting our people home every day, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, it's so important. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming up, talking with me, and thank you for your partnership. Looking forward to continuing to evolve.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.